One of the most fun things in Civilization Eras and Allies is, of course, optimizing your account, and I love picking the right civilization for the right moment in time. In this video, we're going to get a look at what you should choose in Season 2, and we're going to break it down by era, because guess what? There are a bunch more benefits for each civilization. We need to talk about it, baby. Big thank you again to the makers of Civilization Eras and Allies for sponsoring this video. If you haven't already downloaded the game, use the link in the description where you can download and start playing. So let's do a quick overview of what's changed. Because when I saw this, I was like, oh, right, Chiskel, you do need a guide beyond just the first guide you did for Civilizations, because there's just so much more. And if we make our way to the upper right, we go to the season screen, okay? We go to the season features, and we go to new civilization features. Chat, a lot changed. A lot is different, okay? So don't worry, I'm not just going to read this to you. We're going to break it down by era, what you should do. And you're going to have plenty of things to do at the start of the season, so you may or may not want to nerd out like me and understand all of this stuff. So let's break it down, all right? So let's start with what civilization should you choose in the first 48 hours of Season 2? And I kind of made a mistake here. I blundered. We'll talk about it in a minute. But the civilization you should pick is China. So you're going to use this for the first 48 hours while you have Novice Protection. During Novice Protection, taking actions and tiles only costs 8 AP, which is a big deal. Now, China is going to give you a 20% boost to hero experience gained and honor from battles against your tile guards. Big deal. This is the biggest XP boost you can get from a Civ in Season 2. The next best you can do is Korea or America, and that's a 10% boost. Obviously, releveling at the start of the season is really important, so this is how I recommend you get started. Now, combined with the benefit of being under Novice Protection, you can really level up your heroes a lot faster during these 2 days. The other thing it's going to do is increase your AP. This is your AP cap by 50. So what's the value of this? Well, it means that you can go to sleep or go to work. Your AP can recover for longer. And you can have a grand total of more AP when you get back on to do stuff. So if you've got a busy day, which is understandable, this gives you a good bit more buffer to have some downtime and be fine, right? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to enter the classical era, and you're going to use this next civilization through the medieval era. You know it and love it because I've recommended it in the past. It's Korea. So Korea is going to have an XP gain. As I mentioned, it's only 10% instead of the 20%, though. Not quite as good. The other thing I'll mention that we're here for is the tech research speed boost of 5%, the insight yield boost. You also get 4 additional missions during the daily refresh, and the max missions enhanced by 5. This is really good to increase your chances to receive an extra tax or AP mission. And tax missions are going to give you more silver, which is skill experience, and AP missions, of course, help with your releveling, right? And you also increase your reload speed of Siege by 30%, which is great to score more triumph points in the Siege ranking early on when you're capturing some of the lower city-states. So there's a lot of value to being Korea early. Though there is one other option that I think is a pretty legit choice, but this is more like a niche play that your alliance will decide to do, which is like some number of people might choose England. And this is really good for pathing because you can capture tiles from 2 tiles away. So this can get your alliance to an objective much faster, all right? But now let's go talk about the Renaissance era, all right? So as you're entering into the Renaissance era, we're going to go back to America. So from Korea to America. So America is going to give you a yield improvement from your tiles of 15%. This also affects harvest. And you're going to get an XP boost from battles still of 10%. So you may still be leveling. You most likely will be leveling. And the value there is, of course, really obvious. Like, you want to level fast. You also get the AP boost again of plus 50, which a convenience factor for sure. You also increase your improvable tile limit by 5, which is major. America's all about production. Okay. The other thing you get is a zone benefit. Let me pull this up. There it is. Bountiful resources. So when your capital is located in the northern region, the new southern region, or the Fertile Crescent, you gain additional buffs based on your production. All right. Really powerful. So there's a bunch of reasons why I like America for this stage of the game. First of all, you're going for more resources. Second of all, you're going to be able to stack with your aqueduct districts for a total of 35% boost to tiles within aqueduct range, which is kind of major. In addition, once you reach the sort of production requirements, you'll be able to gain access to these zone benefits. But finally, the XP bonus is huge and the AP cap is a major convenience. So that's why I really like America for this stage. And as you advance into the industrial era, this is when your fighting is almost certainly going to be starting, unless you've got like a snooze fest of a season. Gate 7 opens, and now you need to be a fighting civ, and I think Greece is the pick. So there's a couple reasons why I really like Greece. Okay, first of all, when you emerge victorious from a battle, you are going to recover 20% of your current wounded troops. More militia is a W. It means more fighting and less waiting. The next thing is you gain the ability to quick conscript with city militia when the city's armies are located in a fortress or airport. There is a daily limit of 100,000, but let me pull that up. There it is. Grants the ability to quick conscript with city militia when the city's armies are located in the fortress or an airport, daily limit of 100,000. And lastly, emerging victorious from battle against other players, if valor is at least 1,500, you pillage 5% of the enemy's wounded troops and convert them into militia. Again, more militia means more fighting. Now, there is a cap on the number of troops that can be pillaged per day, but like, fine. You take the cap. There are other benefits as well. It reduces the mobilizers required to train militia, which is W. And you also increase your militia training speed of 5%. All right. Now, there is an alternative for the late game when you enter modern era. And if you like are done fighting and you enter into snooze fest, or you never had any fighting at all, one option here is to roll with Egypt. Egypt lets you build double the districts for each city, which is kind of wild. Let me pull that one up. Doubles the district construction limit. 12 districts per city. So what's the benefit of stacking more districts? It'll only stack the effects of each district type you choose to build. But like, for example, if you stack 4 campuses, you increase your insight per hour. Each one of those campuses is giving 15 per hour. So there's a lot you can do with Egypt if you've got a Farmville season. The other alternative at the very end of the season, once everything is settled, is to actually go back to Korea. This depends on how seriously you're taking your prep for your next season. But Korea, you're here for the research speed. You may recall that at the end of my last season, was silver smelting to earn as much silver as possible, which lets me recruit a bunch of 3- and 4-star heroes in the new season, which lets me power up skills more. So it's like a small optimization, but an optimization nonetheless, to switch to Korea at the end of the season once you're in the sort of silver smelting stage of things. So if you enjoyed the vid, do me the honor of throwing a like on here and subscribing. Big thank you again to the makers of Civilization Eras and Allies. I'm obviously still in the middle of my season. In fact, it's not even really the middle. We're like a week or 2 into the new season. So a lot going on. If I change my mind about any of this civilization guidance, I will update the pinned comment. Alternatively, if you're like, wait, but Chiscool, I'm still in season 1. check the card in the end screen for the season 1 best civilizations that you can use. I feel like this vid's got a good bit more structure to it, which I like. And so if you like the format, let me know in the comments as well, all right? Big thank you again to the makers of Civilization Heirs and Allies for sponsoring the vid. Use the link in the description to download the game. And until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. Take care, everybody.